It's been a bumpy ride lately for countless airline passengers, with a recent flurry of violently turbulent flights sending more than a dozen people on U.S. flights straight to the ER. And for those racked with a fear of flying, a special upgrade to high anxiety. Here's ABC's David Curley.
A heart-stopping moment for even the most seasoned of flyers. The stomach-wrenching, scream-inducing, sudden jolt of extreme turbulence. You've probably experienced a mild version of it if you're one of the millions that take to the skies every day. Last year, turbulence injured 21 people in the U.S., according to the FAA. But in just the past week, on U.S. flights, 15 people say they've been injured by turbulence. Yesterday, this was the scene inside the cabin after severe turbulence shook a JetBlue flight packed with people traveling from Puerto Rico to Orlando. The plane dropping 100 feet in altitude just 30 minutes after takeoff.
It's super scary. I was thinking that we really going to die.
Veronica Torres was on the plane with her daughter.
The airplane just go down like we're going to crash.
She took this photo as oxygen masks deployed. Many passengers' worst nightmare. The doors of the refrigerator bursting open, leaving food and beverages scattered all over the aisle. At least 8 people hurt. Firefighters, paramedics, and police rushing on board when the plane landed. And in just the past week, 2 other turbulence incidents injuring passengers. 7 people hurt on this Allegiant Airlines jet.
The lady in front of us shot straight in the air and hit the overhead compartment, broke the handle, bleeding everywhere.
And on this Etihad flight to Jakarta, people screaming and praying for their lives. The woman who took this video says the turbulence came with no warning.
Everything just shook. The plane went up and down. A lot of people on the plane, they didn't wear seatbelts, you know. So they're like flying.
Pictures of the aftermath showing a cracked ceiling, aisles littered with debris. 31 people hurt here, 9 taken to the hospital.
Every year we end up with flights that encounter some form of unexpected major turbulence, severe turbulence, and it throws people around and hurts people in the cabin. This is why it's so important for you to keep that seatbelt fastened.
But what causes the sometimes terrifying turbulence? One is the wind, so-called clear air turbulence, because pilots can't see it. It happens when a fast and slow jet stream pass alongside each other. The air between those streams is disturbed, and if a jet flies through it, it can get very bumpy very quickly.
What we're dealing with in clear air turbulence is really unexpected, unpredictable turbulence. Unpredictable in terms of we don't have a way of shooting radar beams out to see it.
But turbulence is also the result of severe weather, including thunderstorms, which can sometimes be detected by radar. We went aboard this test flight near Miami. So this purple color means
severe turbulence.
These test pilots actually aim for thunderstorm turbulence. Well, we're headed right for this turbulence. They're testing this radar software, which is being installed on American Airlines jets to help its pilots navigate a smoother ride. In essence, you've kind of become the weatherman for the pilot. You're predicting what's ahead?
Yes, that's exactly right.
We skirt around the heaviest turbulence, but still feel it. We're actually just getting a little bit of that turbulence right now.
Yeah, we are. We just flew right by this. So, yeah, it's right outside the window.
Green on the radar means go, a path through the storm.
When we've actually flown through those areas, it's been smooth as glass. There hasn't even been a ripple.
Although turbulence can be scary for passengers and occasionally dangerous if you're not belted in, it rarely damages the aircraft itself.
They are so tough and they are so well designed that they can take far more than the passengers or the crew can. It may feel like you're dropping 50 or 100 feet. It's not true, though. You're only dropping a few feet at any particular point. All it has to do is move about 1 or 2 feet in any direction at 500 miles an hour, and you're going to feel it in your stomach.
In fact, your chances of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 60 million. Despite that, about 1 in 4 people still fear flying. For many, though, the thought of bouncing through some rough air is just a reminder they're trapped 30,000 feet above the ground, followed by a pure white-knuckled fear, like in this documentary, Fear of Flying, caught on camera.
Such bad turbulence.
And that's why these men and women are here.
So we're waiting for him to open the door.
Retired Air Force pilot turned therapist Captain Ron Nielsen is the plane whisperer. His class at Phoenix, Arizona's Sky Harbor International Airport has just 1 week to overcome a life of anxiety and what for many is a painful feeling of shame.
So silly, so embarrassing.
It's time for me to get on a plane and fly.
So when you get on, just go on and pretend like you own the thing.
Captain Ron tries to teach his students to face their anxiety head on. The class does a walkthrough aboard a plane that they've been reassured of will not take off.
So how about a big cheer for all of us? We made it.
What I find for most people is the first thing they need to do is give themselves permission to be afraid.
But it's easier said than done. In 7 days, they'll go from a classroom to a real flight, Phoenix to Burbank, California, and back home. It's the final stage of class. Call it graduation day.
I was taking care of my panic attack.
For Jessica Cobble, it will take all the effort. She's never flown before, but first she gets a quick tip from Captain Ron.
You go past the food court, grab a drinking straw, get on the airplane, and restrict your breathing through the straw. If you can control your breathing for the first 2 minutes of flight, you've got 90% of the battle licked.
Who's gonna hold me? Oh my God.
Jessica forgot her straw.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
She took a pill to take the edge off.
Lexi, close the window. Why? How did it get open?
What happens when you take that much medication?
I didn't take a lot.
I know.
She only took one.
Yeah.
But Captain Nielsen advises no drugs unless prescribed by a physician. Self-medication, he says, might only add to your anxiety, and Jessica has plenty of that.
It's gonna crack open.
But you're focused on anything but the thing that you should be focusing on is you, okay?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to die.
So this is a completely full flight today?
Minutes later, much to our surprise, Jessica is calm, actually enjoying herself.
It's so cool. It wasn't as bad as I guess I thought. It's actually beautiful.
The landing was as smooth as the flight. Jessica spoke, or should we say screamed, for everyone in the class.
Get out of here! Congratulations. Once again, you've cheated death by flying with me.
But the real reward is having traveled from fearful to fearless, even if it was a bumpy ride.
It's just an adventure, that's all it is.
For Nightline, I'm David Curley in Washington.